perceived perspective, it is dental floss, right? So in the marketing world, this becomes dental floss and is worth millions and millions of dollars. And the guy who developed it became a multi-billionaire, right? Because it's a piece of string. It's not a piece of string, it's dental floss. It has abrasive properties, right? It has abrasive properties. I can clean teeth with this. You can do a lot of things with a piece of string. So you see that. Now, let's go another one to give you another example. That's really important we understand the difference. This is a tie. A tie in the perceived value world, a silk tie. But normally, it's just really a silkworm. It's made from silkworms, right? So again, the difference between intrinsic and perceived. So when we're looking at perceived value, now it's going to get a bit deeper and a bit faster. But perceived value is a needs times importance. You need something, and when it becomes important to you, everybody needs more money, needs a more car, needs a better job, needs money. But only that happens when it becomes important. Perceived value is always needs times importance. That is the equation of perceived value. So, the real key to marketing is to understand that everybody is tuned to a radio station called WIIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? It's the perceived value station where it's all about me. So when you're marketing to the perceived value that people are looking for. And so that's the real key to marketing, is to bring value to the marketplace fast, use it by becoming a catalyst. So the world pays for value, but the value it pays for is perceived value, not intrinsic value. Value that other people perceive to be important. Marketing lets you know. So, let me ask you a question. How many in this room would like to make more money? You all could raise your hand. It was a trick question, because you cannot make money. The only people who can make money is the US Mint or the Treasury. You can't make money. So, if you're trying to make money, we're all going down the wrong path. But you are all savvy marketers now. You only can attract money by adding value. By once you deliver value, money is no more than a means of mechanism for you to gain value. Once you provide value, you get money. Money is given in return for value. So if you want to earn more money, you have to deliver more value. And that's where the marketing equation comes in. So now we talked about marketing being a catalyst that brings value to the marketplace. I'm a chemist by background, but there's a catalytic mechanism, the way marketing works. It works in a very defined, systematic fashion. And this applies to everything you do. For the catalyst to work, you have to define your target market. It's very important that you define your target market. So the way you define your target market in business, who is your ideal client? Who is your avatar? You have to be able to use a rifle, laser-like precision versus a shotgun. You have to be able to use a rifle to target exactly the person who will most benefit from your message. Very, very critical that you define your target market. And you don't spray and pray, you use laser-sharp targeting. Facebook is a phenomenal advertising platform because you can actually, if you run out on Facebook, you can actually target demography by their age, their interests, or everything. Phenomenal targeting capability. So the catalyst works by being able to target. If you want to be a world-class marketer, you want to be a good marketer, learn how to target first. Then you develop your value proposition, and I explained to you the difference between intrinsic and perceived. The value proposition comes when you move from intrinsic to perceived. What you have versus what people want. What you have versus what people want. That's where the value proposition comes in. And then you deliver the message using any optimal verticals. And again, this is another slide that shows you how you need to match your message, which is the value proposition, to the market, which is your target market, using the messenger. So you match your message, which is the value proposition, to the market. This is where it matches. And then you use your messenger to make it happen. So this is how the catalyst works. And this is, again, theoretical, and I'll give you some real-world examples of how it plays out in looking for a job. I just want you to understand that there's a big science, there's different science behind how marketing works. So if you look at this equation here, and you look at this graph here, you have value versus price. And if you look here, when somebody buys a product, this is the x is equal to y line. This is what is the line of expectancy. When somebody buys any product, they expect they pay a certain price, they expect they get certain value. If they pay a higher price, they expect to get higher value. When a sale occurs, in life or in business is when people see that the value is greater than the price. What I get is more than what I pay. So your sale will always occur on this side. When the price is greater than the value, it doesn't occur. So that is fundamental, just how, from an economics perspective, how perceived value and price work together. So I think Alexander was a genius, like you most probably, but I think he figured it out. He said, try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. I think he figured it out a long time ago, that it's all about the big things. It's all about value. It's all about bringing value to others. So your next lesson in marketing I'd like to share with you is there really are laws of marketing, and it really states that if you bring value to the marketplace, you will attract money, happiness, and prosperity into your life. People don't reject you, whether it be at personal level, whether it be at business level. People reject the value that you bring to them. That's really important. And by definition, when we talk about value propositions, if somebody rejects your value proposition, it's because it's not of value to them, right? So the real secret is you must be able to build good value propositions if you want to become a good marketer. So let's recap. What is marketing? Marketing is catalyst that brings value to the marketplace. What does it convert to deliver the value proposition? It converts intrinsic into perceived. And what are the 3 steps of the catalyst conversion process? It's be able to define your target market, develop your value proposition, and deliver the message. Okay? So, we've covered a lot of the theoretical stuff now. Now, I want to show you a little bit how this applies to the real world. So now you've all been grounded, and you've all got a good feel of how marketing, how the process of marketing works. Let's see this a little bit in the real world and see how it operates. So you start to make connections now. Now you have the grounding, let's try to build a building, and let's see how it really comes together for you now. How do you win a Nobel Prize? Anybody? You have to be super brilliant at what you do, right? It's taken for granted. That's the value proposition. But there's more to it than that. Because you have to get nominated first. Somebody of a university, this is from the Nobel Prize website. But you can see somebody has to nominate you, and it has to be somebody of a professor or some hierarchy, and then you have to send them a letter, which is an explanation why the individual organization is considered to be worthy of the Nobel Prize. So there's the value proposition, and then it has to be done in the right way because it has to go to these folks. So there's a lot of very bright people in this room, in this university, in the world, who most probably, some will be made very, very successful and some will not. And I think the ones that are successful have figured out that I need to have the value proposition, and the value proposition needs to be delivered to the right person in the right way at the right time. So there is a mechanism. I mean, it's not by luck or by chance that somebody won a Nobel Prize. Somebody nominated them. Somebody wrote a value proposition for them, and that value proposition was accepted. And I'm going to show you how that applies in the job role also. So now I want to move on, and now we've done the theoretical part. Anybody have any questions on the theory part before now we get into case study, which is the interesting bit? I laid the foundation and told you how marketing is, how it operates. I think most of you, we've walked away with the fact that marketing is about the catalyst that brings value to the marketplace, the world place for value. Your job as a good marketer is to bring value to the marketplace. So we've all rooted and grounded in that. Now let's get some more case studies and let's see how it really operates. So in America we have this saying called all hat, no cattle. People in Texas use it. People have big ranches. You know, he has a big hat, but he has no cattle. It's just all talk and no action, right? So I want to share with you, to make this more real and make this experience more real for you, some of my students and some of the stuff that they've been able to achieve by using some of these concepts. And I'll tell you what I taught them that made them successful. First of all, there was a guy called Dr. Sauer. He was a guy at Byron I worked with very early on in my career. He was a PhD. He wanted to get out of science, and he wanted to get into sales and marketing. And I coached him and counseled him. And basically what I taught him was the same thing I'm teaching you. I said, Oliver, I think what you really need to do is you really need to find what it is that you have that is of value to somebody else. Find out who can value, who would most benefit from them, and reach out to them and make a value proposition. And that's exactly what he did. And he was able to secure himself a very nice position as managing director of an American multinational. Another, actually a relative of mine, Hamid Siddiqui, he was earning $10 an hour at FedEx back about, 10 years ago. when he hooked up with me. And he wanted to get into games programming, and you could do all this programming stuff. He wanted to get into games programming, and I told him the same thing. I said, look, what I really teach you is learn how to develop a powerful value proposition now, Ellie. You've got it, and I'll show you his level that he did. So we worked together. We got his intrinsic value. We converted it to perceived value. We got his how you can approach people and get them interested and excited and engaged. And then he started shooting out value propositions to CEOs. And he got so good at this that one CEO, you go to a trade fair and introduce himself and say, look, I can do X, Y, Z for you, and this is what I like to do. And they ring me up one day and he said, Alan, he said, yes. He said, they want to fund me. I said, what? He said, somebody wants to fund me. Right? Because, he was just trying to get a job, but he was so good at this. You see how the power of a value proposition. Somebody said, wow, you really can do all of this, or you want to do this? How much money do you want? Right? So I'm just telling you, it's really powerful stuff when you get it. So anyway, he got his job, and I show you, what he's doing. And then he ended up, by his $1 million home in California. He's running his, his skate throwing business. There's another student, she was at UCLA. She wanted to get into consulting, same thing, total value proposition. There's another guy called Dr. Vinay Panda. It's his real name. And so, it's probably really embarrassing, right? But anyway, Vinay, did his DPhil here at Oxford, and he was doing a research job at Scripps, and he wanted to get into the business world. And again, it was just really about formulating the value proposition, and we helped him formulate and did that, and he ended up going to Acumetrics and running it in India. And there's another guy called Daniel Khan. He was doing medicine actually initially. He started off, his dad was a doctor and he wanted to do medicine. And he wanted to get out of medicine and come to sales and marketing. And it's a bit difficult, when you spend all your life in science and then you suddenly just change careers. But again, I told him that, you've got to target companies. Remember we said mechanism, you've got to know your value, you've got to target people, and then you've got to approach them. Very, very simple. So he developed value propositions. And he had a very big urge to get his job as quick as possible because he was going to get married in 2 months. So he had a real motivation to make things happen. So he really worked very hard to make it all happen. And then, and I'll show you a story in a minute, then there's Vicky we worked with, and she found an internship at her company. And there's another guy called Matt Clark, who was a T-boy in Chicago when I met Mike. And now he's a Hollywood producer. And he was very kind to me. He calls his company Kingman Productions because he read Marketing is King, he mastered the value proposition, and you can go on Google Matt on Google. He owns a production company called Kingman Productions in Hollywood. So yeah, he really took to heart also as teacher. And another guy called Samir who works at J. Abrams' office. So anyway, this is Daniel. He got married 2 months ago. He got his value proposition to the right person. He's a very happy man. And he told me, I told him, I spoke at his wedding, and I said, Daniel, I said, when you get married, I said, a guy loses his bachelor's degree, and the lady gives him a master's. And so, he's well underway now. 2 other guys I've worked with, 2 of my other students. This is Dr. Ijaz Naqvi. He's a physician, and he wrote the book, The Quran Was Against the Bible. And there's another guy called Adam, and these are both best-selling books, by the way. And these are both best-selling books, and both of these people worked with me, and I taught them the whole concept of marketing. What I'm teaching you, basically, in an hour, but we spent time together and changed the mindset, changed the way, and Adam Rahman wrote the book, Jesus and the Last Messenger, again, bestseller. So what did I teach these people? Just to go back, so to make sure we all get it. I taught them to develop value propositions by moving from intrinsic to perceived value, to moving from an inward to an outward focus. To ensure that they address what's in it for me, to ensure that when somebody reads their communication, that it shows them you're a must-see. They see dollar signs when they see you. And to be able to laser target decision makers, not just spray and pray, but target your future boss, your ideal client, not the human resources manager, the hiring manager, the person who's going to hire you for your position, and to choose the right vehicle to get your message to that. It's all very simple stuff, but common sense is not so common these days. So Adam Rahman, he actually did so well that Adam, actually, it's really funny, about this time now, he's speaking at Facebook. So he did so well in terms of, again, he mastered value proposition. He did so well at writing and developing value propositions that he was giving a talk, like I'm giving a talk here, and there was somebody from Facebook in the audience, and they said, wow, you really, you know, your book's fantastic, and you know, you've really got a great message here. Would you like to come to Facebook and give a talk? So he's actually, this morning, in fact, he told me last night, he said, you're talking after I'm talking at Facebook this morning. So he's well underway. Now, Adam rings me up and said, you know, Alan, I really like your stuff. And he said, do you think we can go further? I said, sure. I said, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to go national. I said, you do? He said, yeah, I want to be across America. I want to be big, Ali. I said, okay. I said, okay. I said, all it means is you need to expand your value proposition. You need to get it to a wider audience, right? Fundamentally, it's the same. You need to get your value proposition out, but you need to get it to a wider audience. So he's spoken, and this is his email. He said, you know, he's been plenty of clients. He's spoken to people at BBC. He's talked to people at NPI. He's talked to ABC. He's talked to people more in America. And when he calls them, he said, this is Adam Rahman, I'm the author of this book, I think I've got some exciting information I'd like to share with you, I think your readers can benefit from this, I wondered where I could have the opportunity to, you know, to talk some more. I said, sure, Adam, what would you like to talk about? So again, it was very simple. He made a value proposition, because remember what I taught you is that it's all about bringing value to the marketplace, and you need to do that. So this is what Adam did, and I want to play you a short message here I think you will enjoy. You bear with me a second.
Assalamu alaikum. Pervez, it's Adam Rahman, Bookers as well. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I have actually made some good progress with contacting producers from TV and radio networks. I actually spoke to the producer of Good Morning America yesterday, and then I also was able to speak to the producer of NPR's All Things Considered yesterday. And then today I actually was able to speak to the producer at BBC America. So alhamdulillah, you know, they were very brief conversations. They wanted email follow-ups, but I think this is the foot into the door, inshallah. So just thought I'd ask you to what level to be persistent, how often to follow up. You know, I think that in that book that you suggested, I think 1,001 ways to market your books. I think the author said something to the effect of don't take no for an answer, just be persistent. But do you think I should call back every second day, every third day? Inshallah, would love to get your input. I hope everything's going well with the development of your business, inshallah. Hope to talk to you soon. Salam.
So again, you see, he didn't really do anything really amazing. He made a value proposition to producers. It's really very, very simple. And that's what I taught Adam. He was pretty fearful about picking the phone up and speaking to, you know, producers of these major media outlets. But you know something? They're looking for value. They need content. They need people on their shows. They want, you know, they're happy and they're very welcoming. So again, but you have to master, you have to go about it in the right way. You have to understand what they want, you have to do the research, you have to be able to position your value proposition very carefully. So we talked a lot about the value proposition, and we talked about how important it is, and we talked about how it's the heart of marketing. But now I want to show you how do you develop a value proposition, and what really drives a value proposition. So, the real key to a value proposition is to understand that words are weapons of marketing. This is what my mentors taught me. This is what my mentors taught me about marketing. Words are weapons of marketers. This is the way we change our world. All religions point out the importance of words. There's a global belief in all religions that God created the world in words when he said, let it be, the world began. In Hinduism, Sukhi Sivan, they say the words that great men utter are the words that will prove true. In Judaism, Rabbi Hoshot said, before you speak, you are the master of your words. After you speak, your words master you. In Islam, in Iqra, Arabic, comes from the word that was said to the Prophet, peace be upon him, read. Iqra in Arabic means read. Christianity, Matthew 15:18. But what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defines a person. The book of Proverbs 13.3. Those who guard their lips preserve their lives. Those who speak rashly will come to ruin. So you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is your world can change if you change your words. You don't need to change a lot. There's only certain words that you can change. You can change certain words in a headline. You can change whether people respond in open email. You can change certain words in the opening sentence of your body copy. You'll get people to get engaged with you. So your words joined together bring the value proposition. Remember, I'm very big on the value proposition. I think you've got it now. Yeah, Ali's talking about the value proposition. I've got to get it right. But how do you make the value proposition? The value proposition is made by the words you use. Because the words you use will make you win or lose. The words you use will make you win or lose. Be very careful when you select your words. I'm going to show you examples of this, and this is what I taught Adam. This is what I taught all my other students, as they be very selective in your words, because the words create emotions, and emotion make people do things.